What's up, fight fans? Welcome back to the Fight Files, your go-to spot for all things MMA. Last night, April 5, 2025, the UFC Apex in Las Vegas lit up with UFC Fight Night, Emmett versus Murphy, and oh man, did it deliver. From knockouts to dominant grappling, this card had it all. Today, we're going to be diving deep into every finish, every upset, and the big question left hanging. Stick around, this one's going to be a wild ride. Lerone Murphy just went 8-0 in the UFC, outworking knockout king Josh Emmett, but is he ready for the featherweight elite? And wait until you hear about Pat Sabatini turning Jonderson Brito into a human punching bag for 15 minutes. Curious? Let's get into it. All right, let's start with the main event. Josh Emmett versus Lerone Murphy. It was a featherweight clash that had title implications written all over it. Josh Emmett is the number 8 ranked vet with dynamite in his fist. Hadn't fought since melting Bryce Mitchell back in December of 2023. Murphy, the undefeated number 10 contender riding a 7-fight UFC win streak. This was a classic striker versus striker showdown, but with a little bit of a twist. Lerone Murphy put on a clinic, folks. He mixed up his stances, peppered Emmett with jabs and leg kicks and body shots, basically everything but the kitchen sink. Emmett had his moments too, like a monster slam in round 2 that got the Apex buzzing. But Murphy's movement and output were just too much. He even wobbled Josh Emmett with a left hand in the 5th round, sealing the deal. The judges gave it to Murphy 48-47, 48-47, and 49-46 with a win by unanimous decision, and his record stays perfect at 16-0-1. Here's the big question. Is Murphy ready for the elite at the top of the division? He's technical, patient, and now he's got a signature win over Josh Emmett. But can he handle the chaos of the division's elite? What is going to happen when he faces off against Movsar Evloev, Alex Volkanovski, or Diego Lopez? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. I want to hear who you'd have a match up against next. Next up is the co-main event, Pat Sabatini versus Jonderson Brito at 145 pounds. If you love grappling domination, this was your fight. Sabatini is coming off a submission win, turned Brito into his personal grappling dummy. He landed a takedown in every round and racked up over 13 minutes of control time and just mauled Brito on the ground. No finish, but it was a one-way traffic. The judges scored at 30-26 across the board. Brito, the Brazilian finisher with 5 straight stoppages before this, couldn't get anything going. Sabatini's now on a 2-fight win streak, and he dropped a gem in his post-fight interview. I want to climb the mountain because the top has the greatest views. That left Michael Bisping speechless. So what's next for Sabatini? Can he crack the rankings with his style, or does he need a highlight finish to get noticed? Let me know what you think. The rest of the main card was pure chaos in the best way. ChangHo Lee versus Cortavius Romeus. This bantamweight scrap ended with Lee channeling his inner Khabib. The road to UFC champ took Romeus down, busted him open, and finished with a flurry of elbows at 3:48 of round number 2. Lee's 1-0 in the UFC now. Could he be South Korea's next big thing? There's a whole nation waiting to love him, just like the Korean zombie. Next up, we have Brad Tavares took on Gerald Meerschaert. For those of you who didn't catch our video about this one, we did a little video breaking down how Gerald Meerschaert is actually the UFC middleweight submission king. He's got 11 submissions in the UFC, which is pretty wild. Tavares is also a middleweight veteran. He gets it done a little different way, though. He typically keeps it standing. That's what happened tonight, where he outboxed Gerald Meerschaert for a 29-28 unanimous decision victory. With that win, he ties Michael Bisping for the most victories at UFC middleweight history at 14. At 37 years old, Tavares is still climbing. Ode Osborne took on Luis Gurul. This one was flyweight fireworks. Osborne snapped a 3-fight skid with a laser left hand that dropped Gurul, followed by a TKO at 1 minute 54 seconds of round number 2. That left was a thing of beauty. Could this be the start of a resurgence? Torres Finney versus Robert Valentin. The opener had Finney grinding out a split decision 29-28, 29-28, and the crazy scorecard, which was 27-30. So for those of you who didn't catch this one, Torres Finney grappled Robert Valentine the whole time, which is typically not a problem, but he didn't look to score any damage or really look to finish the fight at all. He kind of just laid on his lap against the cage across all 3 rounds. Torres Finney only landed 4 significant strikes across the whole fight. There's a big debate that got sparked online. Should he have lost the fight? Is it damage over control? Because it does feel like a pretty crazy loophole that some of these guys are just coming and holding on to somebody for 15 minutes and walking away with a victory. It's rubbing a lot of people wrong. The judge who scored that card is a boxing judge, so he did not care to see the grappling. Let me know what you guys think. Does Finney need to do more offense to shine at 185? There's talk that people are even saying he's going to get cut after that performance. He is undefeated, but it's a style that lacks fireworks and drew a lot of criticism online. Heading over to the prelims. The prelims set the tone with some bangers too. Diana Barbosa choked out Diana Belbita with an arm triangle at 4 minutes 13 of round number 1. Belbita has now lost 3 straight. Is her UFC run in jeopardy? Bryce McKee got his first UFC win with a doctor stoppage TKO over Daniel Frunza at the end of round number 1. That lip injury on Frunza was so gruesome. If you have not seen the pictures, check it out. It looks like there's an exposed nerve shown in the picture, and it is absolutely awful. It had to be so painful. ChangHo Lee's teammate Loma Lukbunmi outworked Estela Nunes for a 30-27, 29-28, 29-28 decision. She's chasing that top 15 spot. Do you guys think she can get there in 2025? Let me know. So what's trending after this fight card? First, Murphy's stock is skyrocketing. 8 straight UFC wins, and he's still untested. Is he the dark horse of the featherweight division? Second, the bonus debate. No fight of the night, but Lee and Osborne got performance bonuses. Did Sabatini's domination deserve some love too? And finally, the Apex vibe some fans say is too quiet compared to the big arenas. Does the venue hurt the energy, or is it just about the fights? I think I liked the Apex a lot better when they had no crowd in there and you could just hear the corner screaming and the smack of the punches and kicks. That was pretty exciting, but I think fans are pretty much over it, and the night would have probably been a lot more exciting if they had a little more of a crowd at a bigger venue. I think it would have put the exclamation point on that Finney performance as well if he could hear the boos from the crowd raining down on him. Let's talk about the big picture. Who's the breakout star from this card? Is it Lee with his Khabib vibe? Or is it Murphy with his unbeaten streak? And what's next for the losers? Does Emmett drop out of the top 10? Hit me with your takes below. That's a wrap on the UFC Fight Night, Emmett versus Murphy. What a night. Finishes and decisions. A whole lot of questions for 2025. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and ring the bell so you never miss a video. Drop your favorite moment from the card in the comments, and tell me who you want to see these fighters face next. Check out the full replay on ESPN Plus if you missed it, and I'll see you next time for more MMA madness on the Fight Files. Peace out, Fight fam.